you guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Oh, don't you just love those commercials? And that voice? Fuck. I can touch myself to it. But we're back for segment 3, Brian.
That's right.
And let's go ahead and get right into it. Do me a favor. Brian, close your eyes. And if you're listening, even if you're driving, close your eyes. And picture this. You're 10 years old. You're sitting in front of the TV with a giant bowl of your favorite sugar cereal.
Yes.
With a big old spoon, and you turn on the TV, and there it is. The moving colors of Saturday mornings.
That's right.
Parents probably stayed up a little late Friday, so they ain't getting up. And if they are, they're mowing the lawn already, or they're drinking their coffee. This is your time to watch your television, your Saturday morning. That is ours.
Yes.
So we're asking, when we flip on that remote control, ladies and gentlemen, Brian, what are we watching? What is our, if we want to call it the Mount Rushmore of Saturday morning shows, Saturday morning nostalgia?
Yes.
What are we watching? Let's start with you, Brian, since this was, I believe, your thought, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
I'll start with the one on my shirt. If you see my video, you see what I'm wearing right now. But it's a retro Thundar the Barbarian shirt. I think it's just from like 1980, something like that. Can you get on?
So, let me try to. Okay. Yep. Now I got it.
So it's got Thundar, Ukla, and Ariel.
Yep.
Right. So this fabulous Sun Sword, Lords of Light. So kind of a crazy premise. It was the year 1994. Of course, that's now several years ago. It's like, 30 years ago now, 1994.
Right.
So somehow as a comet passed too close to the moon and threw off the Earth orbit and destroyed the Earth, and the Earth was sort of reverted back to, not reverted back, but sort of the technology and everything was wiped out. Civilization is wiped out, and humans were sort of,
don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, they survived, and it's this whole weird barbarian and aliens and everything were living on Earth. It's kind of a very strange concept, but very cool. I bought the box set a couple of years ago, Dean. I think during COVID, as a matter of fact, I got the box set of.
I have a very limited memory of this.
Yeah, it's just a
weird from passing.
Yeah, just a weird, crazy show. So Thundar fights all kinds of different creatures and evil beings and stuff like that. So, but just, goofy fun, love it. And, just a show I avidly watched as a kid. And every so often to this day, I'll throw it on and watch a couple episodes, on a weekend, like an old Saturday morning type feel, once in a while. So that's it. If you ever saw it, check it out sometime. If you want some just crazy, ridiculous early 80s cartoon fun.
Perfect.
Yes, indeed.
Brian, I'm going to start. I'm sorry, but I can't start with animation. I'll end with animation. Don't worry. But my Saturday mornings as a child, there was a couple stations you had to flip back and forth from, right? And mine had to start on the USA Network because WWF wrestling was on. You didn't have a Monday Night Raw back then. There was for a brief period there was Wrestling Challenge and there was a wrestling on other nights, but your prime time was Saturday mornings. It was back-to-back shows on USA Network. I think Wrestling Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, or however you want to put it. But yeah, that is where I got my fix for Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage. You know, it was a huge influence in my life back then. I still watch it to this day. No longer on Saturday mornings. If so, I don't know about it because I'm not awake. But still, WWF wrestling on Saturday mornings for me, bud.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very classic. The Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show. All this was simply the old Looney Tune shorts. They ran like a new, at the time, introduction to it. And if you're a Gen X person, you definitely know the whole theme. What's, overture, hit the lights. This is it. All that stuff. And as all the Looney Tunes characters kind of walk out on the stage with the jacket and a bow tie and like kind of the straw hat type thing and a cane, they all march across the stage. And that was it. They just had a brief intro to the cartoon and just ran the old Looney Tunes shorts. So that was it, man. Looney Tunes. You can catch all the Looney Tunes, I believe, on Max right now. Yes. They're all there, every single one. So if you don't have Max and you like Looney Tunes, it's a good time to get your Max subscription for that alone, frankly. But that was it. Just love those old Looney Tunes cartoons, man.
That is where we learn culture.
Editing, all that stuff. That's
From classical music to classic stage to maybe even got us into like different kind of movies that you wouldn't have normally watched.
Sure.
Yeah, Looney Tunes taught our and many generations different culture and
that's right.
Upscale culture, even you could say. All in the guise of comedy. So I was there with you. That was going to be on my list. Bugs Bunny and the crew, definitely influential on Saturday mornings and anytime you can watch them. Really.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have a repeat. Do you want to name another one?
I quickly jotted down one that was going to be on going back and forth. Thundercats. Kind of the same Thundar, but Thundercats was couldn't even tell you the goddamn premise, Brian. It was human cats with swords. It was He-Man,
big muscles
with the dude said a chant and his sword got bigger like a fucking growing dick. Even as a child, you go, I know what they're fucking doing here. I'm not immune to understanding that this is a euphemism for a penis. I get it.
Yeah.
But you still fucking loved it. It's still awesome. So, Thundercats.
That was something where I was getting older for that, but I used to watch Thundercats on occasion just because it was a crazy, goofy show, but it was entertaining. Remember that it was entertaining. That's right. Total He-Man ripoff, but
totally. It's like, what if He-Man was a pussy? Well, that's not what we meant, but sure, here he is.
That's it. Scooby-Doo. Just my favorite is still the original Scooby-Doo. Where Are You from the 60s, and then certainly they had all kinds of different crazy iterations of the Scooby-Doo gang. They had Scrappy-Doo, which was
Scrappy-Doo was the fucking worst.
Yeah,
he was a shark that got jumped. That's what he was.
But even into the 80s. Now in the 80s, I'm getting into my late teens and early 20s. They came out with a pup named Scooby-Doo. I used to watch that. Even as a young adult, there was the whole Scooby-Doo gang when they were kids. And I thought they did. I thought that was pretty okay.
Yeah, I don't think I dug that
at the time.
I don't like kids, even when I was a kid. So don't give me that shit.
They're all out there again on Max. Every Scooby-Doo episode is also on Max. Every single one, all the seasons, all the iterations of it. It's all there for you. So even with those, every once in a while, I'll pull up a classic episode of Scooby Doo. Is it the best thing? Is the hold up terrific? I'm not so sure, but still
fun.
It still is fun and very nostalgic. Absolutely. So, what else you got?
I got the Smurfs. La 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 la
Okay.
la 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 la. I was driving down the highway today, and there was an old man, burlier older gentleman, and he had a big old white beard. And I looked up, and hanging from his rear view mirror was a Papa Smurf, but a air freshener Papa Smurf. I'm like, fuck, that's amazing. So yeah, the Smurfs again. What a weird fucking psychedelic premise. Medieval times, if I remember correctly, there was a sorcerer that hated. Were the elves?
Gargamel.
Yeah, Gargamel. Yeah, Gargamel, and then Azrael, his cat.
That's right.
Who probably didn't care much about the Smurfs. He just and kind of hated Gargamel in general. There was a weird teenage boy sometimes, and you couldn't figure out the reproduction of Smurfs because there's one chick and a bunch of horny Smurfs running around. It's a little odd.
Yeah, they never really explained it, but they lived in mushrooms and things. Yeah. So yeah, you got the idea. There was it had to have been like gnomes or something like that. To your point.
Have made the comment, and you are aware. Well, all right. Well, instead of me putting out there to see if you remember, how tall are the Smurfs?
5 inches.
For some reason, I don't remember where or how, but I remember them being 3 apples high. Do you remember that being a thing? Some people don't.
You might be
Some
right.
people don't. But I remember somebody or something saying 3 apples high, which honestly isn't
that's
that
tall.
Yeah, it's like this big.
Yeah, that'd be the
size of a small dog.
Freaky. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna Google it. So Smurfs is my number one, and again, weird premise, but it's fun. It's blue little creatures. They all had personalities, and you're always going to be able to relate to one of them. Like I'm sure you and Vanity were right there. Some simpatico. So Smurfs are for me. What about you? What is next on your list? And I'm going to, as you're saying this, I'm going to look up how tall were Smurfs.
Sure. One of my favorite cartoons as a kid, in part, one of the greatest voices ever. I don't care if it's in a movie or voice acting, lent his voice to this character and sang the theme. One of the most catchiest Saturday morning cartoon themes of all time. Hong Kong Phooey, voiced by the great
Phooey.
number one super guy.
Yeah.
That's right. Scatman Carruthers. I don't know if you remember Scatman Carruthers. He was also in The Shining.
Yep.
Right, you might remember him. He was the caretaker of the hotel, like the cook, I should say, at the hotel at the Shine.
One of the most shocking deaths in a movie like that. Really?
Like, wow, man.
Just put that to him, huh?
Yeah. Just a goofball character. Hong Kong Phooey was a dog that thought he knew karate, and he always was saved by his cat Spot, who always kind of saved the day. He always made Hong Kong Phooey look good. Never tried to take the credit or anything like that. So just a weird superhero type show.
I think you also just explained
but just a lot of fun.
The premise of Inspector Gadget as well.
That's probably right. Yeah. He was always rescued by the girl.
And Brain the dog.
Looked good.
The Brain the dog was really the runaround helping out.
Yeah. If it wasn't Scatman Carruthers voicing it, it wouldn't have been nearly as good.
I agree
just because it was his voice and his vibe just took it to a completely other level. I used to love watching that show as a kid.
See, I have on my list here. I actually just went generic Hanna-Barbera. What? Because you never knew some of the ones that are going to be on the Amazing Race ripoff, wacky races. Or just they would have the random shorts of the different Hanna-Barbera. Like I drive down the highway, and it's very rare that you get a left exit. But my GPS girl goes, exit to the left. And in my head, I always hear, exit stage left. Yep, every fucking time. So Hanna-Barbera in general is next on my list because that's like kind of it's so vast, the characters that you got to see. From Snidely Whiplash back there.
Yes. Flintstones.
To Captain
Tons.
Caveman.
Yes. Good one. I had one. I had a Hanna-Barbera show too, Dave, while we're talking about Hanna-Barbera. Do you remember the Laugh Olympics?
Yes, I do.
Was that before your time?
That was kind of the ripoff of the celebrity ones on CBS that for some reason always had Jamie Farr.
Yes, it was like this. It was like the Battle of the Network Stars, but with the Hanna-Barbera characters. So you had like almost anyone you could think
of. You had all the heels and the faces.
Yep, you had the Scooby Doobies.
Yep.
You had the Yogi Bears, not Bears, but the Yogi Bears.
And they're all wearing catcher's gear.
Yeah, exactly. Giving like an interesting not bad, but brilliant quips. No, but it's like they had all and then they had the villains, like all the Dick Dastardly and Muttley and all those guys, and they would compete in like Olympic type games, and every game, like different teams would win, and every episode, sometimes the bad guys would win also on occasion.
I think I like that a lot. It is that sometimes the bad guys would win because normally, as a kid, you're prone to like good guys will always win, but I'm like, oh wow, the bad guys won. All right,
yeah, the wacky races. Like that. Every episode, you didn't know who was going to win.
Right,
the wacky races, and it was a whole drama thing and this and that, and yeah, just a lot of fun. Had the extra dynamic to it, but. At the time, is any Hanna-Barbera character you could think of?
It was fucking awesome.
The Laugh Olympics.
Yep. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Sure. All that stuff. Great. One of my favorite, if not my favorite. Go ahead, please.
Real quick before you do that.
Sure.
I Googled it. Physically, a Smurf is usually no more than 3 apples tall. In human measurements, probably around 3 inches. That doesn't make fucking sense. You have an inch apple? Fucking idiots. So it does say 3 apples high. So again, might be too. Somebody actually has a visual representation. Anyways, that's still
shocking.
So it does say 3 apples high or whatnot. So
okay, all right.
What do you got next?
One of my favorite. I have the box set of these as well. 2 seasons of this. There's different versions of this cartoon series for many years, beginning in the 70s into the 90s, and I think and beyond. My favorite version, though, was in the late 70s, with a young me was around 10 years old or so at the time. The Challenge of the Super Friends. Now, this was the DC Super Friends, Superman,
Meanwhile,
Batman,
the halls
Wonder
of justice.
That's right. And they battled the Legion of Doom. This was like a very interesting collection of DC villains led by Lex Luthor, and just had some interesting villains that you just didn't get to see. Like it wasn't the Joker. They had the Riddler from the Batman, for example, and that was pretty cool. It was like the Riddler and the Scarecrow and Solomon Grundy, the zombie villain, literally Grog the ape.
As a kid, I just assumed that they couldn't. The money just didn't work out to get Joker on. His contract.
Sure. Right.
That's why they never used him.
But it was cool to see just these different interesting villains in the Legion of Doom, and then all the big Super Friend characters, and then they added more new characters just for television. So they had all kinds of different, which is cool. They had all kinds of different races and creeds and everything portrayed on the show. Just goofy battles and adventures and stuff like that. But those characters, as I mentioned in prior episodes, those voice actors were Batman and Casey Kasem as Robin, and Donnie Dark as Superman, and those guys. Those are my childhood DC hero voices forever, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
So that's it. Be a great one to sit down and watch a few episodes of very easily. So, what else do you have, sir?
I think I only got one left here.
Sure.
And I got the Flintstones. I know it started as a primetime show in the 60s, but by the time we were kids, it had moved to Saturday mornings.
Yes.
So,
and different versions of that too. They had.
There were.
I remember for a while they had and it was an okay version. It was like when Pebbles and Bam Bam were teenagers. I don't know if you remember that iteration or not.
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was still, of course, Fred and Wilma and Barney and Betty, but Pebbles and Bam Bam were sort of boyfriend and girlfriend type thing. They were teenagers, so they had the whole gang, the whole teenage gang element and everything. So that was okay. That was one that was pretty popular when I was a kid as well. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that as much as the original.
Original's still the best.
Yeah. Because I think when something like that comes on, I get so focused on what it should be. When they deviate from it, I tune out or turn off or whatever you want to call it. Kind of like Scrappy-Doo. As soon as I see him, okay, we're flipping channels. I ain't watching this horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the original Flintstones, it kind of was, they were all, what came after the Honeymooners, right?
Yes,
so
it did.
It's all, but television in general, all is just a very different variation of the Honeymooners when it comes down to it. And that was just the first in many, many variations of the Honeymooners.
Yes. Very good.
That's my list.
Plenty more out there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of touched a little bit here. Give me one or two bad ones. You watch as a kid, just like, man, this is just bad. Any come to mind?
I got one right off the bat. The Snorks.
Weird.
The Snorks were underwater Smurfs.
Yeah.
That had little uncircumcised dicks coming out of their forehead.
Yeah, trying to copy and capture something there. Yep.
It was weird. You watched it. You don't know why you watched it, but you watched it.
It was on.
Yeah, it was by the same people that did the Smurfs, same voices also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. But it wasn't good. Like it was just a blatant oversell ripoff of the Smurfs. So the Snorks.
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned Scrappy-Doo. That version of Scooby-Doo, not the best. I mean, Scrappy-Doo takes a lot of flack for that. One of the dumbest, weirdest cartoons I recall ever watching. They had a version of the Thing. The Thing from the Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah.
Except it was a teenage boy, and it had these power rings. He would do the thing. He would do some type of, and he would touch the rings.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yes. Touch the rings together, and magically, rocks would adhere to his body, and he would become a man. Yeah. The Thing. It was Ben Grimm, but it wasn't Ben Grimm.
Sure.
It was some type of ridiculous. It's at the time. It's just the network executives are trying to, capture the teenage market or something like that.
Right. They're reading these comic books.
Yeah. One of the dumbest fucking cartoons that was ever created.
I didn't like the fucking Wonder Twins either.
Wonder Twins were odd on the
I didn't care for that. It was an odd why put so much sexual tension between not only brother and sister, but brother and sister cartoons? It was weird, very weird.
The powers were stupid. I mean, her power was pretty good. She could turn into any animal that she wanted to. His power, he had to be some form of water. That's all he could do. Ice or water. Dude, that's it.
He made some girl. He made some girl very, very happy.
I don't know. I remember this. It was just one of those stupid. It was like she turned into an eagle, and he turned into an ice bench. And she picked up the bench, and somebody sat on the ice bench, which is of course freezing cold.
Sure.
It flew the but yeah. Speaking of drinking games, by the way, that was something that we used to make references to the Wonder Twins for certain drinking games and stuff like that. But yeah, just ridiculous, stupid.
Oh shit!
All right. Well, there's plenty of good cartoons, plenty of bad cartoons. I'm sure we could name a lot more.
Absolutely.
Like there's plenty of good tattoos, Dean, and bad tattoos, but you're not going to get a bad tattoo.
No. Why would you?
Right, from our friends at Golden Heart Tattoos. So they're not going to give you a bad one here, unless you purposely want one. Maybe you want a tattoo of Scrappy Doo.
That'd be a bad tattoo.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo sitting on an ice bench of the Wonder Twins being flown by an eagle or something like that. Maybe that's something you might enjoy.
Scrappy Doo getting all wet.
Sure. That's right. So if you would like that tattoo or something else, give them a call at 234-706-2982. You can find them on Facebook or online, goldenhearttattoos.com. They're going to change their name eventually. We'll keep you posted on that. But just give them a call right now. It's the best thing you can do to schedule your personal appointment in their clean and beautiful new studio in Wadsworth, Ohio.
Hells yeah.
That's right. How might one even get there, Dean? How would you might travel to beautiful Wadsworth? Maybe it's a vehicle you might use in the last Olympics, if I may say.
Well, my car broke down, and I don't like to run. What the hell else would I do?
That's right.
My bike chain broke. Like those little pesky bike chains. What are you going to do, Brian?
I don't know. What would you do?
I would probably, if it was just me, maybe not you, but just me, and probably the rest of you, I'm going to RPM Bike Shop to get me an electrical bike, baby.
That's right.
I am going to Laugh Olympics in style. Cruising in.
Cruise in like a Jabberjaw or somebody like that.
That's right.
To do that, call our friends at RPM
and then
Bike Shop.
Stage left.
That's it. Exit stage left to their webpage, to their Facebook page, RPM Bike Shop, or give them a call at 330-808-7792. Dean, we've done it again.
We did.
We've done it again.
We make this shit look good.
That's right. We have nearly accomplished a significant milestone in podcast history. One step closer.
One step. Next week, baby. 200.
That's right. 200. Wow. That's right. Yeah, we're working with the the local executives in Barberton, Ohio. Similar to how they stopped everything downtown for a local movie filming.
Right.
Yeah, we anticipate a similar treatment.
We need streets blocked off.
Streets blocked off, just to get us safely from our parking spaces down to.
We need a lot of protection because, like, I don't want our ears shot or anything like that, Brian.
No, that's right. We plan to shoot some ears with entertainment.
That's right.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
If not, we'll do it with this podcast.
So stay tuned. We'll give you all the details on our social media out there, which again you could find on our Facebook and X and all that good stuff. So find us on our Linktree page, Dean. Simply Google Linktree, Convincing Idiots, and or get our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com, YouTube, Facebook. Listen to us again wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a free follow or subscribe. Tell others. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. That's right. And have we convinced you that Scrappy-Doo, one of the worst characters in cartoon history?
Yeah.
Hey, did you like that video? You know you did, and we know you did. So stop screwing around and go like that video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for some more.
Ham gravy.
Our main segment this evening, Saturday mornings were a great time as kids for all of us, especially with us growing up with Saturday morning cartoons. We're going to talk about some of our favorites in our main segment. Listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Watch us at our YouTube channels. Come be stupid with us. This is an intro. I just fucked it up.
Sure I'm like, he'll veer back for me. He'll get back there.
Yep. Fucked it up completely.